Right, this is the final video for this review, and the final thing we're going to be covering is factoring, and we're going to be using the X method. Alright, to begin with, what is factoring? Factoring, you're actually going to have something like this, which is together, and you're going to be separated into two parts, which is going to look just like this. So I'm going to put T as together over here and S as separate, right? This is factoring right here. So you have something and you're going to separate into two different components, right? So A and B are factors. We call those factors. Because separated, they're two different things, but together they give me A and B. So those are factors of A and B. So factors of A and B. That's the main part of factoring. That's what it does, okay? So we have something together and we're separating it. So for today, there's going to be a couple rules that we need to know. And I'm going to make you guys write them, okay? So first of all, x plus bx plus c. Okay, I'm going to leave that as it is. So you're going to see something like this. And then it's going to make more sense once we start working on it. So you're going to have x plus, this is going to be a number, x plus a number. That's how your factoring is going to look. So if you have a problem like this, your factors are going to look like that. Okay, now the second one. This is it. Second one is going to be x squared minus bx plus c. The way that your factors are going to look is going to be like this. X minus a number, x minus a number. Okay? So again, if your problem looks like this, then your factors are going to look like this. I'm going to put them right here. Problem, factors. That's going to help us out later on, okay? So this is just to make your lives a lot easier later. Okay, this is minus. And now, this is how it's going to look. The last two are going to look very similar. Number. Minus number. Okay, so the difference here and the next one that you're going to see, this one's going to be big and this one's going to be small. So this number is going to be bigger than this number, okay? Yeah, that's why I put that. Now the final one that we need to do is x squared minus bx plus c. Okay, we're going to have same thing. X minus number, x plus number. But now guess what? This one right here is going to be big number. This one's going to be small number. Just write them down for right now. I'll probably have them on the board so you guys can copy them correctly. But that's what's going to be going on with the factor. Now, the next step is how do we do the X method? So I'm going to give you guys only one problem. And from here on out, I hope you guys understand how to work this problem set. I know it's like I'm expecting a lot from you guys. But, I mean, it is Algebra 2. It's going to be a lot more work from here on out. And you guys going to have to push a lot more weight. Especially if you were goofing off last semester. Or last year, you're going to have to put a lot more effort than some of the other kids. Alright, but it's doable. I know you guys can do it. Now, this is the problem that we're going to get. And I'm going to show you something real quick. There we go. That's how the problem sometimes is going to look. So if you look at this problem, the first thing that I want you guys to understand is the thing inside I'm going to put right now. So you're going to have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. In many occasions, whenever we're working with Whenever we're working with quadratics, your problem is going to look in this format for the most part. If not, you're going to have to change it to this format in order to factor for the most part, just to make it easier on yourself. Okay, that's how it's going to look. You're going to have x. Sometimes you're going to have a number in front. Sometimes you're not. You're going to have b. That one usually has a number. Sometimes it doesn't. And c. Okay, so now you're like, okay, why is that important? Let me show you real quick why is all of this is important. So now, whenever we're doing the x method, we need to understand what a is, what b is, and what c is. So if you look at the problem on the left-hand side, this guy right here, we're going to have to label our a, our b, and our c. And it's not very hard. A, do I have anything in front of my x? No, I do not. But because I said this to my class many times, if it doesn't have anything in front, we put a 1 on there, because there's always an invisible 1 in front of a variable that doesn't have anything in front of it. Now the second thing, I know what my b is. I know it's 5. And finally, I know my number is going to be negative 14. Don't forget to put a negative if there's a negative. It is very important. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, this is step 1. Step 2, fill x. So we're going to have to fill our x right here. I made it big enough, and I would ask you guys to do the same, because we're going to be putting stuff in there. So on the top, I want you to write a little times c. And on the bottom, I'm going to put b. If you're already understanding what's going on here, on the top, we're going to multiply a and c together and see what we get. So in our case, we have a is 1 times negative 14. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, oh yeah, perfect. Right, that's what's going on there. So what's 1 times negative 14? Negative 14. Okay, so I'm going to underline it with this kind of greenish. Boom, negative 14. On the bottom, what is my b? 5. And that's all you got to do. That's step number 2. Okay. Step number 3. So this is step number 3. And it's going to be find factors of AC. So we're going to have to find factors for this guy right here. So I'm going to put negative 14. But in this case, it doesn't matter about the negative. Don't forget about, don't worry about the negative. We're just looking for what numbers give me 14. So you always start with 1. So 1 and what number gives me 14? 1 times 14 equals 14, correct? Yes. Then 2 times what gives me 14? 7. 3 times what gives me 14? No, there's nothing. 4 times nothing. 5 times anything? No. 6 times anything? No. And 7, oh, on the very bottom, we're going to have 7 times 2. Does that give me something? Yes, it gives me 14. So that's as far as I want you guys to go. You don't have to go really far. As soon as it repeats, for the most part, that's whenever you stop. But sometimes the number is very big. But for this case, kind of nice. And I'll try and make the review kind of nice for you guys, just to get the point of what you're supposed to do. All right, that's it. Now, okay, so now I'm all confused. What am I going to do with all these factors? What am I going to do with all this? So, this factors, oh shoot, keep doing it. All this factor stuff right here is very important, and we're going to be using one of those two numbers. We're going to be putting stuff on the side. So keep that in mind. We're going to be using that information right now. But remember the little rules I put before? So this is how our problem's going to start looking. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to do, and what I want you guys to understand, it's very simple. So this is our factoring stuff, right? We're going to keep going over factoring and stuff like that on a daily basis. We're probably going to be doing a lot of Bell activities, which factoring, and I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to discuss it even more. But the whole Carnegie program already expects all of you guys to understand factoring to a certain level, which is why I'm doing this review. Okay, let's go back before I sidetracked on there. So we have all these different rules that we need to do. So I want you guys to look at your original problem. We have plus and minus. Yes, I have plus, and then I have a minus. Okay? Keep that in mind. Which, out of all my rules, which one has a plus, and then it has a minus on these rules right here? Plus, and then a minus. Oh, I can see something. I see a plus, and I see a minus. Does that follow the rules? Yes, it does. So let's look at the factors, right? It said that my factoring is going to look x plus n, x minus n. So I'm going to go ahead and do that over here on the bottom. So x plus n, x minus n. Okay. X plus, and I'm going to leave the n alone because that's what we're going to be figuring out right now. And then x minus. Okay. Now let's look at it again. And what does it say about my first n? It's going to be big. It's going to be a big number. Okay. What is my small number going to be? It's going to be negative. Okay, so we're going to go back to a chart. We know for a fact that my smaller number is going to be negative. So I'm always going to put a negative where I have smaller numbers, okay? Okay, my big number says it's going to be positive, right? Yes, that's why I had the plus, right? Right here, I keep going back and forth just so you guys can see it. It says big, small. You see the plus? That's positive, big, negative, small. Okay, perfect. So let's go back. Now, you might be asking yourself, I mean, we haven't done anything with the 5 on the bottom, correct? This 5 right here? Yeah, we haven't done anything with it. So guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be using it right now. We're going to be actually figuring out what two factors give me a positive 5. Okay? So negative 14. Oh, what am I even talking about? Negative 1. If I combine negative 1 and 14, what does that give me? Negative 13, right? I'm combining them, right? Negative and positive gives me negative 13. For the second one, now, I have negative 2, positive 7. What does that give me? That gives me a positive 5. Okay? Over here, positive 7, negative 2, positive 5. Okay, so you see something, right? We have two different ones that gave me 5. But because this one right here and this one right here are exactly the same, I can delete one of them. We don't need it anymore. So my answer for my factors is going to be negative 2. And where do you think I'm going to put the 2? On the negative. And where do you think I'm going to put the 7? On the positive. I know this is a lot of work and I know it's very lengthy, but I was hoping that you guys follow everything and what I did everything. And that's literally it. That's your two different factors, and that's going to give you your answer for the problem. Okay? There's nothing else you have to do. That's basically it. On later problems, I'm going to show you whenever we have an actual number in front of x, like over here, like I'm showing you guys right here. If you have 5 for a different number, I'm going to show you how to do it. I know last year, for the most part, we mainly did factoring on the calculator. We didn't actually factor for the most part. And this year is going to be a lot of work. And just bear with this. It's going to be a little hard, I know. But just, we're going to take it a day at a time. Okay? That's the general idea about doing factoring. Okay? You're going to be needing it for Thursday and Friday, in which we're going to be doing Carnegie. But aside from that, that's everything. So you watch the entire thing. Thank you. I mean, I'll try and put all of this on the board just so I can show your steps and stuff like that, just in case you don't watch the videos and somebody doesn't watch the video. But this is the gist of it. This is a lot of stuff that you guys need to know how to do, and I'll try and help you guys out. Well, have a good day, guys.